Welcome. The top shits.
Starting off strong.
Yep.
Welcome to the Top Blokes. Be back outside here in sunny Wales. We've decided to move because it was getting a little too cold and rainy.
Winter's been a brutal one.
Winter's coming. Winter's coming.
Winter's coming, man. Okay. All right, boys. Let's get into the topic.
Stoic cigar smoking. Yes, sir. That's
the way.
like it.
Yeah, we're back out. Sun's out, buns out, cigars out. I hope you'll join us.
Catch out.
The 10 of you that watch this shit right now.
Shout out to the 10 of you.
Okay. So, I'm gonna call this one. I literally named my notes on this. I named it "Beware of Entrepreneurs."
Interesting.
Beware of entrepreneurs. Okay. I guess I'll just read off of this because I have a lot of thoughts on this. So, I said, I recently was given an opportunity by a friend of a friend. He checked all the boxes of what I wanted to become. Strong, seemingly in the mind, and obvious to be seen in the body. An energetic personality, wealthy, a fast car, multiple skills, and very intelligent. People like this are the ones we want to become like here. You know, here in this like self-development community. Oh no, I actually said that. Okay, in the self-development community. I think we see these kinds of people as the ultimate good, and maybe according to Nietzsche's understanding of what a good man is, he is good. But let me tell you, this man was close to completely screwing me over and putting a dent in the time it would take me to acquire the funds I need to step into a higher paying career or starting a business of my own. Men like the ones we want to become in this community are dangerous once they've become realized. As much as I want all of you guys watching, my closest friends, and myself to become like a man like this, you must also be wary of them. They are top salesmen, and they can convince you of almost anything. What borderline scared me about this man was his ability to wear everything we are to become in character as a mask. The type of men we're trying to become at our core was something he was. Sorry, it's a little sunny here. One sec. That kind of puts a dent in the seriousness of this. Hold on. The type of men we're trying to become at our core was something he was able to act out, like any actor playing a role in a movie. I don't know why I was under the impression that to have a good character, you had to make multiple realizations in life, and then at your very core, personality and character would have to turn into the ideal man. But this guy was the reverse. Using the ultimate character as a cloak, he throws over himself. That doesn't mean he's fake. He most definitely is hardworking, intelligent, and well off. When you run the volume this guy does, meaning he runs multiple businesses, you have to dehumanize people a bit in order to use them for your own benefit. You have to be able not to care too much, if at all, for people. Why? Because you have to drop them in a second for someone that'll do the same job for cheaper, or lay them off to conserve money if the business isn't doing well. This is nothing that I haven't already thought about. What caught me off guard is how he was able to say everything I wanted to hear for the most part, even to me, and I believe I can see through shit, and I am rarely naive. He was able to feign being the entrepreneur to me because he was able to detect that. That is what I was trying to become like. Luckily, my intuition was wary of the job he was about to give me, and the questions I asked him due to my intuition partly saved me due to the questions putting him off. So I was asking him a lot of questions about like the job and the position he was putting me in. So if he wanted a useful idiot, I was not the man. But this is fairly common. Even young men trying to become better can be used against them to control them, and use the ethos of grinding / being better men or trying to become better can be used against them. To control them and use an ethos of being an entrepreneur man to get you to do a job to make you feel like you're getting better. Then I have a couple sub notes just to try and like explain this whole situation.
I think it's nothing new, but we just met one of them in person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've heard things about you, man, Godzi.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he knows more than I do about you, man. And I mean, I'm not sure what he's heard, but I've heard some things. I'm not going to go in depth because I don't want to slander the guy if I can't go into detail.
Yeah.
But they're very good about selling you on an idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the whole self-development thing. It's like a subsection of self-development.
Yeah.
You got the meditative guys, and you got the super masculine only guys, and then you got the money guys, business guys, and then you got the guys that are like, do everything. And like, I feel like we met somebody that does everything.
Yep.
But he sold the dream very well.
Yeah. I think the self-development ethos is kind of catching on, and there's like a lot of young guys that are all about, you know, the grind and a very focused, busy lifestyle. And I think that any entity that is like caught onto this is using guys that don't know any better against them. Like, it was almost done to me. Like, this guy, right? This guy thought just like me. I thought just like him. I answered his questions before he even, like, I would ask a question and then finish his words as he answered the question. You know what I mean? So in a way, I suppose I was really just shit testing him, and I'm really glad I did, right? Because in the end, this guy pretty much just ghosted me, right? And luckily, he told my friend here before he did it. Otherwise, I was getting ready to already leave like a well-paying job, and that would have really fucked me over. Like, really fucked me over. You know what I mean?
You were screwing with somebody's livelihood.
Yeah. The problem is that either he's like semi-dumb and he didn't think that far ahead, or he knew exactly what he was doing, which is more likely, and just doesn't care. You know what I mean? And like, this isn't me trying to like, woe is me right now. I'm like putting this out so I think like you can surely learn from like what I just went through, right? Because I spent months, like Wilson knows, right? Like, I spent fucking months going back and forth, seeing if the risk was worth it, jumping from my job to the position this guy was offering was worth it. You know what I mean? And what was crazy is that I was sold. And the man knew I was getting ready to swap over to his job. And then he ghosts me, right? That was what was so weird. And then what did he tell you exactly?
He was saying that he was getting tired of all the questions.
Mm-hmm. He was put off by the fact that you mentioned something or asked about the business failing.
Questioning the fact that the business might have a chance to not make it.
Right.
And that completely put him off. And I feel like that hit him in an insecurity.
Exactly.
Like there's a chink or a hidden area of his armor.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, it was going to be like that. Like there was some part of his ego that he had to what do you call that? A chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He had to like sort of prove that he could have his success. And then when you question him on that, he's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Very questioning.
Now.
Like a good way to put it, I feel like he was wearing a full set of armor.
Yeah.
You know how the old armors have like hidden weak points?
Yeah.
Like
In between the plates.
You shot him with an arrow.
It got him right there.
Yeah. It hit. It started like breaking.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm glad I did do that, right? You know, like some of my warning bells were going off. Just sort of like, like what are the chances, given certain shit going in our economy right now, will this survive? Like, is he just trying to cash out and leave? Because there's businesses that'll do that. They'll basically pay people at a higher rate, knowing that they're just going to sell that business or drop it quickly. You know what I mean? Was it one of those? I don't know. He sure as hell isn't going to tell me.
No.
I haven't heard from the guy since, which is fine.
Me neither.
But that's just crazy that I ran into what would almost seem like a shadow version of what we're trying to become. You know what I mean? It seems like he became everything that we wanted to be on the outside, but on the inside, a certain change never happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the man went about using success as a band-aid
Yeah.
rather than a whole change in character. And that's what surprised me. You know what I mean? Because what he did showed so much about him. You know what I mean? Because you could ask so many questions. Like when he was our age trying to make it, right? And he was taking any opportunity he could that, you know, would sort of like skyrocket him into success. And so to get to the level where you're looking at these young men and you don't even care, right? You don't even care and you act like you do. That's just so crazy. That's just so crazy. Like talking about this still bamboozles me to this day, what this guy did. How fucking close he was in the games he was playing.
Could have been a narcissist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, you know, to get to that level of success, you have to build a sort of narcissism.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, there's no way you're gonna launch into those like areas without a bit of narcissism. Because without it, you're just gonna you're gonna be very like helpful and eager to help people.
Yeah. Almost
Almost above yourself.
Yeah.
And so it is a necessity to be a little bit of a narcissist. So that you could
you get nothing in return.
So you have to.
Yeah. And I get it, right? Like leading with your ego first into a business, you have to believe that it'll work almost illogically to get yourself to step into the boots of success to get it to work, right?
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself, oh, it's gonna work. Oh, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like I get all that, but what's crazy is you can become the like Sigma male man that we all imagine ourselves wanting to become. And yet, on the inside, you're still rotten to your fucking core. You're rotten to your fucking core. You know what I mean? And on my sub notes, it said like explain the situation. I don't know how necessary that is.
I think we've
Kind of. Yeah. So we were approached with the job offers that were better than our current ones because Don here met someone at the gym that, you know, portrayed everything we wanted to be, and we thought we could learn from him. We even considered bringing him on this podcast and just trying to like, you know, bring guests in and like get it somewhere. But like, man, that's just crazy how life works.
It flipped very quickly.
Yes, it flipped extremely quickly, and there was months of unneeded stress and overthinking on my part.
Hell, even on my part. It's like I was thinking like, and then I was like jumping from decision to decision, and then I was questioning like, man, what the fuck is wrong with me right now? Like, should I be doing this? Right, jumping from decision to decision. But then, you know, even I, when I saw all this shit, and it was literally at the time there was literally no reason to reject it, the offer. And then for some reason I was like, you know, I've really felt like it wasn't the right choice. And so I told him that my intuition says like, don't go for it, right? But then of course, you know, I got the fear got to me, of course, with all the things happening in the economy right now, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should just go for this thing and stop being a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
And then I hear this, and then I hear what happened next, and I'm like, wow, so my intuition was right all along.
Yep.
And then I got mad because it is not the first time where I ignored my intuition completely, and it was just shown, you know, like.
Well, you could tell he's not perfect at manipulating people because he clearly messed up when he took what he told me what he did.
Yeah. And that got me thinking too, was like, is this guy smart and wanted to tell you because he would know you would tell us?
I think that's the case.
And we would just drop it.
That is most likely the case, for sure. That is most likely the case.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, he was done with at least me.
Because he was put off, but maybe also he found a guy that he didn't have to train.
Yeah.
You know? So that made things easier. And he was also trying to make things easier on himself anyway, right? So I don't know how many months he would have to train you, right? But that's months of training that he doesn't have to do now.
Yeah.
If he found the right guy.
Right.
So.
Right. But I don't know why he didn't hit you back up. Because I'm thinking the only thing is like he may have found someone that'll do it for cheaper.
Well,
because like with you, it's like,
But he's offering the same thing. It's not like I had like a number and you had to match it. He's saying this is the number. This is the number I'm offering.
I get why he dropped me, but you,
when he was talking to me specifically at the gym when I saw him, he told me what he told me. He said that he was going along with you just fine.
Right, yeah, and I think what I know for sure is that he was expecting me to hit him up. For him, it was like
that was a point I wanted to bring up.
He was expecting me to hit him up,
and he was doing the same with me. He told you that, remember? He said he was like, "Oh, I was thinking about Tesh, but he's gonna have to come to me."
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. What does it say about him that he needs us to crawl to him to show a sort of neediness towards him? You know what I mean? Like, all things point to a guy with a gigantic ego. I'm guessing. I don't know him that like enough to be saying this, but I trust my own judgment quite a bit on people. But for him to need us to come to him says so much about him. You know what I mean? He needs useful idiots. I'm like 100% certain on that. Like, me asking the questions I did, I don't know if he was ready for that. Like, he was ready for it because he answered well.
right?
But he was like, well, fuck. Like, I need someone that's just going to do what I say, right?
Instead of asking all these questions right before executing, right?
Right. And so he tells you that I don't think he's all in on it. But he says that after I already accept the job, after he knows I told my current employer I'm leaving and that I'm joining him, and gave him a date on when I was going to join. And then he ghosts me.
It might be that military mindset.
Yeah, I was literally thinking that. Yeah,
Because of course the guy was in the military, like Wilson and I. You just know they want you to do and not ask.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was. It just creeped back in where he just wanted somebody who was like a private. Just do what you're told. Stop asking so many questions.
But I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, you're fucking with my livelihood here, bro. Like, we're not in the military. I didn't sign a contract that says I'll do whatever the fuck you say, or I get a goddamn dishonorable discharge.
Well, here's the thing. Even
Like, you're fucking with my money. You're fucking with my life. Like, if I fucked with his money and his life, okay? Say he didn't own multiple businesses and he had just one good job making him, I don't know, $150,000 a year. I came along and I was like, I'm going to make you $200,000 a year. And then he leaves his job. He tells his employer, I'm leaving, I'm going to join this other job. Then all of a sudden flips on them. It makes him look like an idiot. Okay? It gives sort of like a power play sort of move. It gives his employer more control over him. Right? Some of his respect of his employer towards him is dropped because of what he's pulled. Right? Think about all that shit. He did not care. He knew I was paid semi-well, and he played and pulled all these fucking strings. Like, what does that say about him?
it says that he's not perfect.
He's not perfect, and that's not what I'm expecting. But the reason I bring all this kind of stuff up and bitch the way I am is because if this video gets watched by a lot of dudes, women, whatever, like whoever the fuck, people, right?
Sure.
But primarily guys, right? If this gets watched in the future, you have to be fucking careful. Like, you need to test out your own intuition. And I know intuition, in some people think intuition sort of like you can't trust it because it's just sort of like an emotional thing. But there's something to it, right? If you have good judgment and you can test it out on people and be right most of the time, then typically you can trust your own intuition. And because I sort of leaned on mine, it got me out of like an extremely bad situation. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's emotional. I'd say it's more cognitive because you're using the context clues to put together.
Intuition is a sort of like bridge of the two.
It is.
It's like
your spidey sense going off. Like, something's wrong.
Because the reason why we don't really necessarily trust our intuition nowadays is because we don't have any proof. We don't have any logical proof that this feeling that we have is true.
Right.
And as men, we don't want to be following our feelings all the fucking time, right? And so that also gets in the way of listening to the intuition, because you'll be thinking, oh, maybe I'm just being a bitch about it. Maybe I'm just listening to my emotions too much, But sometimes it's just the intuition talking.
I think that's my point about if you transition to like online influencers. like if we met somebody in person that's like that, imagine the guys that are way more famous than he is selling the same stuff to malleable young guys who might not trust their intuition. They'll fall for it. They'll sell you a course for a few grand and you don't get anything out of it.
And you know, like even those methods, like it's weird because a lot of people would be like, oh, it's a scam, oh, he's just trying to take advantage of you. I don't see them as taking advantage, even though that's kind of what is happening. But I see it as just a neutral strategy. It is a neutral strategy to get a certain result. And especially for like not just getting a result from one person, but from multiple people en masse, you have to, like, you know, people, like, you're not having a personal relationship with these people, right? You're not sitting across from them. It's depersonalized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Indeed it is.
That's the beauty of the internet.
yeah.
You don't have to look the guy in the eye before you shaft him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, like, one of the points I want to bring up is that, you know, in the journey of becoming a better man, once you become better, your circles change and the people around you change. And then when you become more powerful and financially better off, then you'll join a new rank of people that are financially better off, right? The thing is the higher up you go, the more dangerous the men become, right? So a point I made here from learning from all this shit, I said you actually want to get better so that if a person like this comes along, you'll be less of a threat physically and mentally. So, I mean, I took this pretty damn seriously. I don't, like, a lot of dudes would just be like, oh, whatever, dude, cool, I'm good, right? But, you know, I have to strategize a bit for the future, right? Because when, say, business deals come up, when other guys give me opportunities, you have to know when to say no. Even if that other opportunity sounds more juicier, they sound like they can do more for you, right? You have to know when to say no. And you have to know the ins and outs of this kind of shit yourself because, dude, they can fuck you up. They can derail you, your own goals, right? So this actually made me want to start a martial art more than ever before. And I started boxing training. That was actually a huge reason why. It was because I was like, this guy, right? Like, I overthink about these things, sure, but like, I was like, this guy was truly better than me, right? If he wanted to beat my ass, he could. If he wanted to get more women than me, he could. If he wanted to get more cars, he could. He could do so many things. Like, if he really wanted to, he could probably fuck you up, fuck your life, whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
He's truly like a dangerous man, right? If he was sitting here and heard us say that, he might chuckle and be like, I ain't gonna do shit, right? Whatever. But just in case, right? Like, kind of step into your Batman cowl in this kind of one, where you want to predict and be ready for future threats, right? Have all ends covered to a certain measure, right? This made me want to be stronger physically, not just mentally, physically. I was like, if some fucker like this comes up across, like if I come across this kind of fucker in the future and I can't handle myself physically and mentally, that's a problem. If I can't defend myself, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Against mental attacks and physical attacks.
Right.
Right? Because when you come up against someone that can just take you the fuck down and makes you feel belittled to the point where it's just like you feel like a little bitch in a corner, like a boy. Like, that's a terrible feeling.
It is.
You know, what a man that is better than you can do to you. Like, I don't know if a lot of dudes think about that. And this truly made me think about that. Because when I went home after hearing this shit, I was like, you know, if he wanted to, he could completely fuck me up. Kill me. Fuck me up. You know, what the fuck ever. Like, he's capable of all those things. And you don't want to get fucked over like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a concept where, like, you know, I saw something from somewhere on the internet. I believe it was from the Associates. Yeah, you guys don't know them. They're a brand on Twitter. They were saying something about a man without power is a man that is unhealthy. It is unhealthy to have like minimal power in this world, and that makes complete sense because that will sooner or later seep into your mental state. You know, it is way too easy. Like, look at all the people who like especially times where you had slumps and you felt depressed. That's you. That's your mind being unhealthy. That's a byproduct of you having no power.
Look at all the
and
people
no
that
control over your life. You know what I mean?
look at the people that had no power during COVID.
Exactly.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
Put on your mask. Put on your mask.
Mentally sick, and it's the people now. It's the people now that you see walking around that are yelling at the top of their lungs and then doing all this extra degenerate shit. They're weak in the mind.
Yeah.
They're sick in the mind,
Need to fill that void.
and it's because they have no power. So they have to exercise through some weird ways to find that thing.
Right. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. So if one thing I learned from that was just you need to be prepared to come across a threat. If you're on to better things and you're not a guy that just lives in his mom's basement and does nothing with his life, like you have to be prepared for a threat, any sort of threat.
And like in a sense, like once you get to his level, you kind of, in a way, have to do the same thing, right? You don't have to do it in his snaky way, in a sense, right? But you almost have to follow the same kind of strategies that he's doing. You know what I mean? That sense of depersonalization when he's talking to somebody.
Yep.
You know?
Maybe instead of ghosting you, you could have said,
You could have said,
I don't know.
hey, yeah.
Let me know if you're sure about this. You seem like you're a little hesitant.
Yeah.
Exactly. That kind of thing.
That's another thing I was wanting to bring up about his sort of character, how he didn't communicate that, how he ghosted me to try and get me to crawl to him, to come to him. And I was talking to Wilson about this, about how like I was like, dude, the dude's treating me like his fucking like girlfriend, like we're in the fucking like we're in the fucking dating market,
Yeah.
and he's playing games where he's trying to like bait me to text him like out of neediness and attention. Like what the fuck, right? Like in my head I was like, are we not like man to man talking business and opportunity here?
Yeah,
And you
it's
hit me with these like base level fucking red pill 5 years ago basic things you can get a girl to chase you kind of shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your girlfriend.
And it's kind of similar. The way I saw it in my head, it was kind of like this kind of thing where let's say, imagine like we're in a post-apocalyptic thing, and it's kind of like a tribe of men, right? And then every man is house like kind of has to like establish his fucking power and dominance over the other, so that like, they know their place.
Yeah.
It feels like he's doing that, where he's like, all right, we've established that you want to come and join my organization. We established that I'm giving you an opportunity to make more money. I'm in the power position here. Bend the knee.
Yeah.
Right? So I can put my dick on your shoulder and knight you. Or some
Knight
shit, right?
you as my useful idiot.
You know, like it's just like his meat is on one shoulder, on the other shoulder, on your forehead. He's like, all right, now you're my bitch, kind of thing, right? And this is the position you've assigned yourself to.
Yeah.
You're now my bitch until. So, and of course, he's not really thinking that.
Yeah.
But in a
way, in like a spiritual power.
Exactly. In that power dynamic way, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Very interesting, bro. Very interesting.
Not surprising.
Let me see what else we got.
Very interesting.
We can transition to like the importance of getting some sort of power in today's society.
Yeah, this just shows that gaining power in today's society is essential, and it's not some like some trite saying that someone else like, oh, you have to get money, you have to do this. It's not about the money. It's not about the position. It's about gaining power.
Yeah.
The will to power. The will like that. This is what gets you. This is your purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As of everyone's purpose is to get stronger, get better, live happier lives, right? This is the will to power. You know what I mean? And then, for sure.
Yeah. Let me finish off my notes. We can go from there.
It's weird that through Nietzsche, when I see people like this that can really fuck you over, I really don't have any I don't harbor any hate towards these kind of people.
I don't either.
You
Like,
know?
I don't hate the guy. It was just, it's me being pissed about me superimposing what I think a man of his stature should be like on him, and he failed to meet my expectations just as much as I failed to meet his.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted a useful idiot, but not a complete idiot. I wanted, like it's hard to really say, but it's almost like I wanted like a fucking big brother.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I sort of wanted this big brother that would skyrocket, sort of like fast track me and give me all the tips and tips into success, or maybe mindset shifts that will better aid me in the future. You know what I mean? I was sort of looking for a mentor. A mentor. Like, I was thinking he'd be a mentor, but instead, like, he completely fell short in character, right? Not in flashiness, but in character of what I thought he was. You know what I mean? And that took me down a whole different track of things. But, you know, I was thinking about how stupid that made me feel. How I was seeking what I could give myself from someone else. It made me feel sort of lazy. And like, dude, are you gonna constantly rely on luck?
On people to give you opportunities.
Yeah, like give yourself the fucking opportunity, right? Like, dude, learn how to start your own business. Try a one-man business. Try to sell a good online that you don't need a whole bunch of employees for, and that you don't need to go salesman like fuck a bunch of people over for. You don't have to do that, you know, with this amazing thing we call the internet.
Yeah, and then, you know, that's why it's like, no matter how good like a job like sounds to me, and then how much they want to try to sell it to me, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you could be great for this position. I hope you take this chance to like improve yourself and be a nice addition to the company or whatever. You know, I have this thing inside it sort of like resents that so much, and then mad at them and me because it's like, I'm mad because, you know, I kind of need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm mad that it is true.
They know what to sell you on.
And they know what to sell me. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it puts you in a mental position of, like, you know you ain't shit right now.
yeah.
You know you ain't shit, and you know you need the power of others, right? It's a power dynamic where you need the work marketplace. You need your society. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, a human can't be completely, like, self-reliant. Like, we need farmers to go out and grow our food for us and whatnot.
Right.
But you want to be as, like, you want to put the power in your hands as much as you can as a man. Seriously.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with power.
Like, people,
leverage.
and again, especially guys, who don't think about how much power they give away. Right? And society is almost designed in a way where you give your power away, right? You rely on college and the debt you get to then give all your attention and time towards a job that, yeah, sure pays you kind of well, but now you're doing so many hours in a week. Again, keep in mind, I'm no stranger to knowing that once you start your own business, sometimes you have to work over 40 hours a week.
Right.
You have to really grind. But, like, at least it's self-sustaining. At least if a job fires you, you're not fucked, right?
And at least you're working towards something that aligns with your values.
Right.
With your values, and you have the skills to start another business. Like, you don't need a corporation. You don't need another man. You don't need a mentor. You need to max out your own capabilities.
I feel like that comes along naturally. If you're successful enough, you'll eventually get in a circle. You'll meet somebody that can naturally be your mentor.
In a way, yes. But I don't think you should, you know, leave yourself open to it and be like, I need a mentor.
I think treat it more like a supplement. Like, it could help, but it doesn't have to be the thing that keeps you going.
I don't think you should think about it at all. I think that if a mentor comes and he's trustworthy, then great. But if not, don't ever actually go looking for it.
Well, no, my point is like...
I mean, obviously, like, if you want to learn a skill, you go get a boxing coach, a mentor for that.
Yeah.
Right? You hire someone to teach you a specific thing.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Well, that's where I agree with you. Is what I'm saying is like, treat it more like let's say you're weightlifting.
Mm-hmm.
You don't treat it like it's the weight. You treat it like it's a supplement. Like, it'll help, but it's not necessary with the mentor. Like, sure, you can get a mentor and it'll help, but it's not like life. It's not life or death.
Yeah.
Sure, it'll help, and it might help, it might not. That's this guy's case that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It didn't help, but it's not necessary, because just like you were saying, you could do it on your own. A lot of these mentors we're mentioning did it on their own.
Yeah.
I mean, in the sense of, like, you know, mentors doesn't have to be like a direct, like, person teaching you, like master apprenticeship, like directly in person kind of thing. It can just be like some guy teaching something that could be your mentor. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like,
For sure.
if you learn something directly from like a YouTuber or something, right? You can say that he is my mentor or one of my mentors,
Would
right?
you consider Huberman?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can
So
say
a mentor is also someone that you can take on as someone that you take advice from.
that. Yeah, and like, let's say if you're going down a certain path, right? And you know, a mentor would be someone that who's already gone down that path, that you're sort of like emulating his path, like what he did to get successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be like your mentor. So for Huberman, not really.
That's funny because I'm wearing a Huberman.
Yeah. For Huberman, not really, because he's just giving you like information and, like, you know, facts about nutrition and
Sort of like a professor.
Yeah, there's a professor, right?
Yeah.
For us, you know, it would be
It's more like a life coach.
like entrepreneurs online, right? Like maybe like Alex Hormozy,
Yeah.
if you're trying to be like him. That's basically a mentor. He's basically a mentor to millions of people,
Yeah.
indirectly through social media, right? So,
And Imagaji, even though he's got some shady things. Mr. Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Well, Emery Andrew Tate. I think some people see him as mentor as well.
Yeah. He kind of can be seen as that mentor of like, fuck it, dude. Fuck what people tell you. I actually take after that a lot, like naturally. But sort of just that like people tell you to do this one thing, like why? You heavily question it. And you're just like, nah, you know, fuck that. Do it your own way.
Don't follow the same
Don't-
track.
Yeah. Don't follow the same track as other people. Sort of like don't subscribe to the masses. In a way, is sort of like the soul of.
Is that what you?
And behind in what like someone like him sort of like someone like Tate pushes out.
So
I think the soul of what he says is.
So you think that's his core
I think so.
value, core principle that he teaches?
In a way, yeah, and basically, I think he encompasses in his like own way self-improvement, right? Seek power in your own way. Use it to better your life, because if you don't, you're gonna fucking be mediocre. Your life is gonna be controlled, and it's gonna be shit.
He's not wrong either.
Oh, he's not.
A lot
A lot of people like, oh, that guy Tate. Like, I'm like, listen, man. Even I don't like fully agree with Tate on like all.
you don't
things.
have
And you don't have to.
Yeah, no, because like if you do fully 100% agree with everything a human being says, you need to question that.
Yeah.
You need to question that. Why do you follow everything?
Yeah.
Do you not have any like resemblance of like
you.
any
Where's the you?
individual
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because me and you, we're not going to see eye to eye on everything. It's impossible. If
Yeah.
we do see eye to eye, then on everything, then there must be some sort of like interreliance between the two of us.
Yeah.
And that is not good. That's not good. Right?
That's the problem with today's society. It's either, oh, I love Andrew Tate. Oh, I hate Andrew Tate. There's no nuance.
I don't love or hate him. I mean, I respect him for. I mean, dude, he was a UFC fighter. It takes a guy.
No, he was a kickboxer.
He was a kickboxer. I'm sorry. He was a kickboxer. Like it takes balls to step into the ring with other men and compete and get your ass kicked and kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
That says something about a man. Okay, like it really does. Like you gotta respect someone for that. You gotta respect fighters. They take gigantic risks and devote massive amounts of their time and energy into an activity that they're so addicted to.
And even if you look right now, like everyone just automatically has respect for any fighter.
Yep.
That's why, like, they fighters now, they were always fighting for glory in a sense, right? And that's like one of those values that we as men or as human beings really hold in high regard. That's what really gets the respect from men.
Yeah.
Is that like putting life and limb on the line. You could get hit in a certain angle and die.
Yeah.
It's lethal.
Literally.
It's lethal.
As controlled as these sanctioned fights are, you could still die in that ring. You could
And
become
people do.
forever
Yep.
disabled in that ring. Yeah.
Yep.
People do. Yeah. Even in amateur.
I mean, there's literally there's like based on true stories about this kind of shit.
Concussed, disabled,
Yeah.
killed.
Yep.
even in the amateur fights.
Even in the amateur fights.
Might be worse than the amateur fights.
Which is kind of crazy to think about, considering that I'm doing the amateurs stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you could actually die in there. Sure, the chances are less, but you could actually, you know.
Could be worse than amateur fights because the fighters don't have as much experience.
But of course, you know, you getting hurt in there, it all comes down to you, because if you fuck up, some way, somehow, it was your fault. You know.
You almost never can lose a professional fight without it not being somehow your fault.
Right, and Andrew Tate mentioned this. It's like just like chess.
Yeah.
Just like chess, like if you lost, there's somewhere on that board you fucked up.
Yep.
So
you can't just like. So there's luck. Of course, there's luck involved in everything. But you can move a wrong way. You can throw a wrong punch. It's almost always going to be your fault. It's like the ultimate proving ground. And it's the ultimate kick in the ass if you get knocked out.
and that's
humiliating thing.
And you know, like, I was juggling this thing where like I was trying to like figure out whether I should be what I should be bothering with the whole like Muay Thai thing.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, I've come to the conclusion that, you know what, I should just continue, because it really just it establishes the importance of like how I win is up to me. Like everything that leads up to that fight and me proving myself is up to me. You know what I mean? It's no one else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's no one else. There's no one else you can blame.
Yeah, that's why I think it's the ultimate like place where you have to check your ego.
And you know, because like especially like, and sometimes like a lot of boxers I see do this where they still kind of like have this mentality where they'll get in the ring, they'll do their thing, and when the decision doesn't go their way, they'll blame the ref, they'll blame the people who like
the judges,
the
ref.
They'll blame everything. They'll blame
I had a messed up knee.
I
tweaked my shoulder during training.
The fucking hoodie I wore was 40 like pounds heavier.
It's always something.
Oh, it fucking fatigued me before the fight. I'm like, bro, you have to take responsibility. You have to take accountability for everything.
It's so
regardless.
Hard. It's so difficult to find a fighter that's like, yep, he was better than me, and I lost.
You know,
I messed up and I lost.
Simple.
Yeah,
never see it.
I think a part of it is they have to put theatrics in it, like they have to.
There's also like, you know, establishing that ego. Once it's established, you know, to get it knocked down with a loss, it's very hard. It's like, you know, a loss to the ego is basically like it's a life and death situation here. You know what I mean? To the ego, that's death.
Especially that bad. Especially if you get knocked out.
Right. And you come back and you face with that loss.
And you have to see people making fun of you, videos of you laying on the ground, slow motion of you getting kicked in the head and getting knocked out.
And commentators be like, oh, because you know how they have to commentate, be like, dude, you got laid flat.
Right,
like,
and that embarrassed me. Yeah, it's a sense of like, you know, death and rebirth that constantly, like, you know, that's what attracts me to it. It's like me, I'm always striving to change and evolve, right? And you know, whether it be through winning or through losing, there's evolution. And I feel like fighting is a sense of me speed running that evolution, you know. So that's why, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think I'll stop until I reach a certain point, you know. Like I think I have to keep training.
I think there's a sense of adrenaline to it. It's addicting.
Yeah, of course. But I have to keep training. I have to.
There's lessons in training a martial art that like really make a man a man. You know what I mean, just the activity itself teaches you a lot of fucking things.
And I'm glad, you know, I'm really glad that, you know, the universe sort of aligned for me and my two younger brothers all decided to I'll gravitate to like combat sports. It was weird. It was so weird. It was like one time, one of my brothers was talking about doing boxing, and the younger one was talking about doing boxing. And then out of nowhere, I'm like, hey, let's just go hit up what's the nearest Muay Thai gym, and we just headed down there. You know, It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we all just kind of gravitated toward that thing, and they didn't watch like self-development shit. Like for people like, hey, go to the gym, go fight. You know, you have to fight. I'm like, nah. It was just a natural gravitation towards that, and that means something.
Now all three of us.
That means something.
All three of us. I've been slacking a little bit, but all three of us have been.
I'm definitely the most amateur here because I just started, and I mean I need to train a hell of a lot more, and I need to take it a lot more seriously. But yeah, I mean it's certainly a skill I need to take on to protect anyone I care about and myself from any guy that is physically stronger than me.
I feel like that's a beautiful thing about self-defense and martial arts. It teaches you a lot of lessons that don't have to do with martial arts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just spreads out into the rest of your life.
Patience, timing, being cool, not being too hot-headed.
Yep.
And you notice most of the guys that train are the ones that are least prone to fighting on the streets.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what my coach told me too.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not fighting.
Because you know you can mess somebody up, but you know the repercussions of that.
Yep.
Exactly.
Sometimes you know it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Those 30 seconds to 2-minute fight is not worth messing your life for months over after.
Yep.
Go to jail, go to prison, break a bone.
Yep.
Just to prove to somebody that you can whoop their ass.
Yep. Yeah, not worth it. But yeah, let me just run down these points, make sure I got all the ends covered. What did I say? This doesn't mean you go. Okay, yeah, I said this doesn't mean you go with the current morality to not become a bad man. Meaning, like, I didn't want anything I said to make you want to take a very like moralistic route and be like, well, okay, then, you know, I don't want to be an asshole like that guy you just described. So, you know, I'll be a good little guy. You know what I mean? I'll be a good man. Like that's not the point here. That's not the point. Like, think about morals in such a black and white, in my opinion, like naive and idiotic way is just so stupid. There's going to be times you have to make decisions. You know, if you're an employer, there's going to be times you have to drop an employee. You can't be nice. If that person's fucking up and not doing their job right, you have to be like, okay, you're fired.
Yeah. Or
discipline them. Yeah. Right? This isn't about being good and bad. This is about doing what you got to do. It's pretty simple. You know?
You can be a good man, but you don't.
Yeah, and I'm saying, yeah, and that's that. Right. And that also doesn't mean you have to be a dick and a fucking, you know, you don't have to be Christian Bale in that fucking what's that movie? American Psycho. You don't have to be you don't have to be so broken on the inside and turn yourself into a sociopath and a fucking psycho because you think that's the way to success, right? Like, the answer isn't to drop your emotions and you know, if you will, lose your soul for success. That's not the point. The point is to just become better.
You can be a good man, just don't be weak.
Yes. It's important here to create the difference between a good boy and a strong man.
It's that analogy of being a soldier in a garden than a gardener in a war. You'd rather be a soldier in a garden because you'd be prepared than being a gardener in a war where you're screwed because you're weak.
Yep. There's that. Covered that. You actually want to get better so that if a person like this comes along, they'll be less of a threat physically and mentally. We got that naturally. Just the conversation led into that. This man in a twisted way makes me want to control my own finances. So when someone like him comes along, you won't need to rely on him.
You won't be susceptible to manipulation.
Yeah, you won't be susceptible to manipulation. You won't need to rely on a single man or an employer or a corporation or any company. You want to, like, reliance is
huge.
They have power on you.
The reliance is massive because they're trying to grab your soul.
Yeah.
Hold on to it, and so they can use you. If you're relying, you have the leverage.
A reliance, whether your company has good intentions for you or not, is still reliance. You still depend on them. You want to take away as much dependence as you want, as you can.
Yeah. If this company goes belly up, you're screwed.
You're screwed. Yeah. Or if your boss is a dick and they don't like you, you're fucked. You know,
You have no option. So they drop you and you're screwed because you have no reliance.
so it makes me want to learn how to fight. Of course, if this sort of person being as dangerous as they may makes me want to be ready so that I will not be helpless, right? Nobody wants to be helpless. I said, last but not least, this makes me grateful for the job I have since I didn't lose it.
I'm sure it gave you a different perspective on what you have.
Yeah, I almost wanted to go at my work a little harder, my current job. I kind of wanted to get better at it after that because I was so grateful for it. I was like, fuck, man, like, I'm happy to still have it for the time being. So, like, why look for other places when maybe I can better this place and better myself at this place and like squeeze more out of it as much as I can. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for money. You know what I mean? Like every company you go work for has a cap for a position. You know what I mean? Like a manager is only going to make so much money. You know what I mean? You upset the balance of power within a company if like there's a cap for a manager, but the manager that's below a CEO is getting paid as much as the CEO. Like that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So,
But like, you know,
and
and
even without the money raise, I wanted to get better at my job at that point because I was just grateful for it. And I mean, if there's more to learn from it, then by all means, right?
and in a sense too, you know, you should like want to try to improve and do the best at your job, because you know how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yep.
And it's good to start now improving everything at where you are right now, because once you start doing your thing, you're not gonna you know, do the bare minimum. You know, when you're
gonna go at it.
You're gonna go at it, yeah.
Well, look at the kids who get rich early. Off TikTok, off of wealth from their parents. They go about it the wrong way, and then next thing you know, they're crackheads with too much debt. They can't control themselves because they don't have that experience.
Yep.
Like a lot of lottery winners, they blow it all away because they don't know what to do with the money.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't have that experience, you lose it all.
Yep. Now you have more money than you know what to do with, so you do the only one thing that you know how to do, and that's spend money.
Yeah, because if you've been surviving off of nothing your whole life, and then you have everything, it's kind of like getting cheat codes in a game.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, when I play a game, and I get cheat codes, I get so bored of it, I start doing the dumbest crap ever.
Yeah, because you don't have to work or do any work and get the gratification of the reward for doing that work. You just got it, and now you're just like, okay, now you devalue the reward.
Right. Like
So
right
you don't
now,
have to work for it.
right now I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima. Imagine if I just randomly got a cheat code where I can one-shot everybody. First thing I would do is go straight to the boss.
Yeah, and just kill him.
I would just
Boom,
bored.
done. See ya.
Yeah, I'd start jumping off cliffs. I do the dumbest crap ever because you get too much power without any control.
But yeah, you know, in a nutshell, if we're all on the path to becoming better, know what kind of a man you have to become to be that kind of man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't want to be like the guy that just almost fucked me over. However, there are characteristics that I will have to take on that are going to be very similar to him. You know what I mean? In a way, it's almost like we're going to have to become our own version of him. You know, it's on the game up.
If we're staying on this
It gets,
path.
yeah. On the game up, it gets less and less moral. It becomes more and more about power.
I mean, look at the richest people in the world.
Yeah.
Let's look at their morals.
Yeah. When I was analyzing the situation, right, it was something that like I like scoffed at whenever my head went there, but I had to actually sit down and think about it and go there. And I was like, if you were able to finish his fucking sentences and you're similar to him, then you're capable of doing exactly what he does. You can be just as much of an asshole. And I'm sure there's a point in the future where you are going to have to be like that. There's someone you're going to have to yell at, someone you're going to have to screw over. And maybe you don't want to, but you're just going to have to. And so that's something of like an overarching like message that I want to like leave if anyone that's watching.
With
And
the
you know,
masses.
It's what the fuck are you willing to do to get better?
And you know, that's the thing that I like, that I know that I'm gonna struggle with like, because like it's weird. It's just a reflex to just be sort of like the nicest. It's weird. Maybe it's just how I am.
A lot of it
It's
is
like,
the upbringing.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Upbringing is a big part
yeah,
of it.
I'm just the nicest fucking guy, and it really fucking pisses me off. And it's weird because it's like I look around and it's like no reason to not be nice, nice, right? There's nothing around that, you know, like brings up a reason for me to act like an asshole, right? Except maybe like there's a situation that comes up that, you know, most people would you know, be an asshole in this situation, right? But it's like in my head, I'd be like, well, I don't have to do that. I can just do this. But then everyone will see it as a sort of like as a sort of weakness. My niceness, I see it as a logical sense of like, oh, if I be nice, this is just, it seems like the most logical thing.
Yeah.
But everyone sees it as a fucking sense of weakness, right?
Well,
and it's like
here's the thing: who are you getting this data from? Because who are we surrounded by that's gonna think it's a weak thing?
It's just like you can.
Tesh and I think it's weak.
I only like I can notice it when like let's say I do something, right, just because it is my job, right?
Yeah.
And of course, maybe I'm just doing a favor for the guy, right? But then it gets end up being used as a way to take advantage of me after that.
Yeah, too much kindness
You know
is an easy way into getting someone to do what they want you to do.
And it's like if I say no, it's like okay, it's part of my job. Yes, it's like okay, I say no, they'll be like, all right, wait, it's your job, right? I mean,
I'm gonna have to ask you for a specific example after the camera's off. I want to know what you're talking about here.
It's not too crazy, right? But it's just like it's like one of these random thoughts that bounce around in my head. Like maybe am I being too much of a bitch or a pushover here? You know what I mean?
I understand.
You know, because I notice because I know that these people have that kind of thought of me. You know,
you have to tread that fine line and set the line in the sand so people know not to cross it over.
Yeah, and you know maybe it's just because you know the situation I'm in right now doesn't really call for me being an asshole, and then that's fine. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just how it is.
You don't have to be
an
ass just to be an ass.
Yeah, you know exactly. So there has to be a correct like reason for it. You know what I mean? There's no reason like to create conflict.
I wasn't looking at it too negatively. It seems like it's just a lot of intrusive thinking and emotional control on your part. It doesn't.
That's how I see it. You know what I mean? But every once in a while, it's like
because as long as you know someone is taking advantage of you, you put your foot down. When you recognize it, but it's seen as a weakness if you know they're taking advantage of you, but you still bend over.
Yeah.
That's when you should look at it like, oh man, maybe I need to get more of an edge.
Yeah.
But if you don't feel that way,
I think there's situations of that where it's like, if someone asks me to do something, the reflex is, yeah, sure. The reflex is, yeah, all right, no problem.
Okay.
But then while I'm doing, I'm like, wait, this isn't part of my job description. Why am I doing this for? Right? I'm like, maybe I'm being a pushover.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it helps to be like, I think you can do that on your own, can't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then,
or at least
and then they stop because they're used to like they're so sure that if you ask them to do something, then you're just gonna do it.
Right.
But one day when you go, I think you can do that.
Or at least question, right?
At the very least, yeah.
Yeah, at least question.
And you can practice this in your life, sure. I mean, to a certain degree. You don't want to turn into like a fucking dick, and then that comes off as fake too, because that you're trying to be a dick. You're not naturally like a pushy asshole.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. So that's gonna like people are gonna kind of call you on that. They're like a fucking fake in a card game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a bluff.
Yeah,
it's a bluff. They know it's a bluff.
This isn't what you usually do.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, like, oh, you're a tough guy now, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll fold because, well,
you're not.
I like the poker analogies.
On the inside, exactly. Yeah, it's an easy way to. On the inside, right? You're still sort of like a bit feeble, and you'll bend over backwards to do something, right? You want to kind of naturally assert yourself and become a little bit stronger in character, right? Within, if you will, or you're bluffing.
So you need to make sure you're not doing it just to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Usually I tend to not say no first. I tend to question. The best way to do it is back. Why do I need to do this? I'm busy doing something else. Or this is not part of something I signed up for. Or you could just ask for more pay.
Or I can just ask for more pay.
Be like, you want me to do all these extra crap, and you better pay me more. Now, this is a message to everybody out there. Your job can pay you more than they say they could. You need to take advantage of that. Stop being a pushover robot they can use, like he was saying, a useful idiot.
You can go, hey, I would like a raise. They say no. Be like, okay, tell me what to do to get a raise.
That easy. And then they'll be forced into two situations. Either this, and this, and then you can mark it down and do it. And then when you do it, you can say, I did this. You are liable to pay me more. Or they'll say, you're capped. That's when you know you need to make a transition.
Yeah.
And if you work at this big conglomerate like Walmart, they have more than enough money to pay you. I'm not talking like mom and pop shop. You're working at a bakery. You're working at a big conglomerate. They can definitely pay you more.
Yep.
Just like, let's say you work as a clerk for Walmart. Just look up the wage of the CEO and then get back to me. Sure, the CEO does more, but that just shows they have the capability.
Yeah.
To be able to pay you more. You're just not taking advantage of it, and your manager knows that.
Yep.
No side tangent there, because I'm getting annoyed at people just getting used and abused and not doing anything about it.
Yep. I mean, and that's sort of like a natural selection in a way, right? I mean, those that have a bit more assertiveness and will call bullshit and know their worth and will go elsewhere, those kind of people will get more money because they'll fucking want more challenge because now their lives have gotten too boring at their job.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, I want more responsibility. I want a promotion. I've done all this. Tell me what more to do. And you do it and you're still not getting paid more. Then you're like, okay, guy, I'm out. And then, if they value you, they'll pay you more. If not, they'll let you go. Yeah. And like, as long as you're in the job world, like you have to just keep doing that so you can get as high as you can.
Yeah, either way, you're moving forward. Even if they let you go, you're moving forward.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But, ideally you want to start your own thing or start a side hustle. Like, I'm not saying like if all you want to do is work a job for the rest of your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But like ideally for men that think like us, like you kind of want to be earning money from something you want to do and not doing stuff for other people.
Right.
And making them money while getting
funding everyone else's dreams.
Yeah, you're funding everyone else's dreams and you should be funding your dreams.
Exactly.
That sort of deal. But I mean, if you wanted to grow up to be a doctor and you're a doctor and you get a lot of money and you're fine with that, right? But all fucking means you keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because there's a big online entrepreneur, be fucking a businessman, fucking push, and I'm just like, it's not for everyone.
Nope. If you want to go be a doctor and save lives, you want to be a lawyer and lie your way out of everybody's jail sentences, go ahead. We're always going to need people like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. You're still going to make so much money as a doctor.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you're cool with that, then fuck, why? If you don't want to be entrepreneur, then don't. Right?
I mean, the word entrepreneur has lost its meaning.
Yeah.
So bad. You see these, oh my God, these, like, let's say the word model. Right? You ask a Instagram model what she does, and she'll say model. No. Model is Vogue. Model is Gucci. That's a model. Then some of them, I've seen porn stars that'll say entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur?
OnlyFans. Entrepreneur. Because they're selling you a product.
No, but that's through OnlyFans. That's through OnlyFans. That's not your own business.
They'll argue with this.
I'll say you're more entrepreneur-like if it's your own website and you're making your own money from your own website. But if it's off OnlyFans, then I would say...
well, dropshippers call themselves entrepreneurs.
You still got an employer.
Yeah, you still have...
in a sense.
And then takes a cut of your money. I mean, like...
Right, exactly. You still got an employer.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been recording for 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Nice.
I know we said we try and go shorter, but some conversations need to be fleshed out.
We'll do a long episode between every few short episodes,
Yeah. If it needs to be long, we're not sweating this shit right now. There's fucking our last video has 20 views. I was so fucking demoralizing. I was like, not because I'm like, I edited that one, and it was hilarious, and to me at least, to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, the one I actually put work into, like the most, fucking got the least views. I was like, fucking fuck. Like, I'm not gonna edit. I'm not gonna edit till we get like a consistent couple hundred views. Then I'll start editing.
Dude, it pisses me off.
Up until then, let's just make this easy and put up.
It pisses
videos.
me off on YouTube when I see that, when I go on the homepage and I'll see a video of like somebody, I don't know, doing the most dumb shit ever.
Yeah.
Like they're seeing that they can cut a onion into cubes. And they'll have like 6,000 subscribers. I'm
Hey,
like,
it's creative, bro. It's creative, bro.
They call me the cubed onion.
Cause like they'll ask you, hey, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that?
because I'm more intelligent than somebody who's only capable of cutting onions into cubes.
I want to earn my clout from more philosophical and mentally
That's the
challenging
thing. 'Cause,
avenues.
that's the thing. Because you could do anything, right? Because like I could decide, oh, I want to be a fucking gamer and play fucking video games, right? But do you want? The thing is, I don't want to be known for that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known for
Yeah, and I feel like it'd be better to have a niche of like the viewers that we have,
Yeah.
a niche instead of just anybody.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get reported for saying stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you get.
Oh, we're gonna get reported in the future. There's just no good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Shit we say, like,
Like it's gonna reach out to new people that aren't in our demographic.
yeah.
Nope. And
We already know we're not gonna get monetized. Like, fuck no.
Yep. You never know.
YouTube will monetize us. We already break rules by like cussing and shit.
Cussing and shit.
Like I think you
Yeah.
have to like maybe like for the first couple minutes of the episode you like don't cuss. I think, and then you're free to do it.
Good luck with that one, Chief.
But like, are we
But
really
who-
trying to read their ever-changing book of rules
Yeah, dude,
just
yeah.
to get monetized on
Yeah,
YouTube?
yeah. Like who knows? They can change anything on a fucking.
We can just use it so people can like learn our ideas. You can monetize it so many different ways.
Yeah, I mean, we can get sponsored. I think we would get money from sponsorships from other companies, or like creating our own product and selling it, and using YouTube for the views, obviously.
There you go.
To funnel the attention into our product, and then
That's what everybody does these days.
right. But getting money from YouTube itself, I don't think we're gonna do.
No,
nor do I care. Nor do I really
You
want
need
to.
You need to be PewDiePie.
Yeah.
And somebody like that to make a good amount of money.
You have to be tip top, start becoming like a
Tip
billion.
top, uploading every day, following all the rules.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't step on anybody's toes.
Being all PC is
Cookie cutter PC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, y'all. Y'all got anything else to say before we end this episode? Wait 5 seconds and maybe record another one.
No, sir.
All right. I hope you learned something from this.
3.
I fucking know I did.
All right, boys.
Thanks.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Stay top.
Get top.
Gotta get it synchronized, man.
Get top. Top.
Top. Top. Top. On top.
Top.
On top. 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 Top.
All right, y'all. See you.
Hepatitis. See you later.